Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'd like to show you different ways in which you can add grain to your paintings, just like our favorite League of Legends artists. If you are transitioning from other programs to Photoshop or looking for practical ways to optimize your workflow, this tip tutorial will be the most useful to you. For better navigation, this video was divided into chapters. Feel free to jump to them whenever you feel like. Painting with grain in Clip Studio is very simple. Start by making a new layer. Go to Filter, choose Render, and then Perlin Noise. A new panel will open, allowing you to adjust the settings to your liking. Okay, now let's set the grain layer to Overlay or Soft Light. Create a new layer under the grain layer. Now we're ready to paint, knowing that our colors will be preserved. In Photoshop, we'll need to reproduce the same process, adding a few steps for it to work the same way. Once in Photoshop, go to the top window menu and find the Actions panel. It will appear on your miniature bar on the right side. Click on the plus icon at the bottom. A new panel will appear, allowing you to name, color, or assign a shortcut to the new action. Next, press Record. The program will now keep track of all your activities, combining them into a single action. Now, go to the top menu and pick the options New and New Layer. A new panel will appear. Name yours if you wish. And pick Overlay or Soft Light in the Layer Mode area. Make sure to check the box that says Fill with neutral color 50% gray to ensure that your layer won't affect the colors underneath. Once you're done, click OK. Now that the neutral layer is ready, select it on the Layers panel. Right-click and choose the Convert to Smart Object option. Using this method will let us change the grain configurations later, without the need to redo this process all over again. At last, go to Filter, pick Noise, and add Noise. Once the panel opens, pick the density ratio of the grain you'd like to have. The uniform mode is smooth and the Gaussian looks denser. Remember to check monochromatic or the effect won't work as expected. Click OK. Don't worry, you'll be able to change these settings afterward by clicking the small arrow icon on the layer's right side. But first, let's finish the action by clicking the Stop button at the bottom of the Actions panel. There you go, the effect is now available on the Actions panel. Activate your grain layer by selecting the action and clicking the small play button at the bottom of the panel. You will find the grain effect on the Layers panel, where the settings can be changed by clicking on the Add Noise filter title. Now you can place a layer underneath and start painting knowing that your colors will be safe. Awesome! This might seem like a long process, but using actions really make it handy once we have it all set. Applying holographic or colored grain is easy. Make a new layer by clicking Ctrl-Alt-Shift-N on Windows or Command-Option-Shift-N on Mac. On a new layer panel, pick a color to identify your layer. Choose the Overlay mode and check the Neutral Color option. Click OK. Now go to Filter. Choose Noise and add Noise. Pick either Gaussian or Uniform and keep the Monochromatic option unmarked. You'll see that different grain tones will appear on your preview box. That's what we want. you can notice the effect is very subtle and produces a natural color look on your grain. Painting underneath a colored grain layer can be very challenging. When you try to use the color picker to choose and mix colors present in your work, the tones will be affected by the colors displayed on the grain bits. For this reason, it's faster to use this effect as a texture after your painting is done, or combine it with layer masks for local application. To make one, select the layer you want to mask on the Layers panel, and click this rectangular icon with a dot in the middle on the bottom bar. Now let's invert the mask by pressing Ctrl-I on Windows or Command-I on a Mac. The mask icon will turn black, meaning your grain texture is hidden. Use a white brush to reveal the texture and a black colored one to conceal it. By using this command, we can erase, reframe, and change the intensity of your texture without losing any information. The grain texture is a very subtle effect that is frequently seen in digital artworks. It is often used to bring refinement, smooth out textures, and bring a more natural feel to the clean digital look. When viewed in the work of fantastic artists, the colored grain reminds me of those rare collectible cards that show holographic textures when moved at a certain angle. If you're having difficulties blending your colors in Photoshop and your monitor screen is smooth, adding a grain layer to your process can help to avoid pixel peeping too much in earlier painting stages. Of course, the artwork quality will depend more on our drawing skills, but the subtle effect might be that mighty polish that makes it feel more finished and intricate. It's like a shiny coat of varnish that embellishes and preserves the frame. Here, I use colored grain in my latest fan art. This was my first tutorial. Please let me know in the comments if you found it helpful. Thanks for stopping by and see you next time!